Hi everyone, it's Kate from The Fold Line. I am back this week with the edit. I hope you are having a nice weekend. We have got so many patterns to talk about this week. This time of year, it feels like they're just coming like thick and fast. I can hardly keep up with them all. So I will say this might be a slightly longer one. If you don't have a beverage of choice, now is the time to pause, go and get yourself a cup of tea or a coffee or a glass of wine, depending on your preference and time of day. And yes, I will get cracking. So first things first, I never usually an expansion pack usually to me is quite not wildly exciting, but this one is definitely worth a mention. So the Friday Pattern Company Donny shirt has been like one of the most popular patterns of last year. Everyone went absolutely bananas for it, but a lot of people wanted a long sleeve version of this. So very excitingly, there's an expansion pack to make it long sleeved, and I thought it was worth mentioning because a lot of us, you know, we live in a cold, it's very rarely warm. Most of us want a long sleeve option, so this is great. So if you have that shirt and you're thinking, I love this, but I would just like, you know, a long sleeve, then that's available. So it comes in all the same sizes as obviously as the kind of pattern. And I will say you have to have the Donny shirt pattern already to buy this one. So that's exciting. Next up, we've got a really lovely quilt pattern. And I'm really excited that we're having a few more quilts and kind of pushing them in because this one is a really beautiful one. So it's the Lou Orth Designs and it's the Spring Moon quilt. And it's just absolutely beautiful. As a quilting novice, I can't get over how you can make things round on a quilt. I know that shows how basic my skill levels are, but any pattern that I see of a quilt pattern that has kind of rounds, I'm very impressed by, and that shows how basic I am. Anyway, they are beautiful, and I thought this is a really fun quilt. I love quilts because quite a lot of them I feel like this would suit an adult and a child and a boy or a girl. So I feel like it kind of ticks a lot of boxes. So there are 4 different sizes for the quilt as well. So you get lots of different options. So that is there for you as well. We've got 2 new patterns from Sew Over It. These are quite good. I would say them like interesting basics. So if you are looking, I feel like this time of year is the time of year, I don't know about you, I'm actually doing all my research at the moment for the spring trends, which will be coming out, I think next week. Yes, next week. And I don't know about you, but this time of year as the seasons change, I want new things. I want it feels like a rebirth from winter. So these I feel like are very good spring options. So the first one is the Sew Over It Holly dress and jumper. Great, you already get 2 patterns for the price of 1. If I show you the line drawing, you can see what's going on. It's actually a really interesting pattern for especially kind of jersey. Looks like quite an ordinary dress, but there's a couple of the dress in particular, there's some nice little details. So you can see it's raglan, you can see it sits, it's like not a polo neck, it's like would we call that a turtleneck? I know that in the US and the UK it's different, but very slightly higher neck, whatever that may be. I would love to hear people's thoughts. You can cut off the dress at different lengths, but the interesting thing, if we have a look at the line drawing, you can see that it's got this lovely little like insert just around kind of underneath the bust with these little gathered panels, which I thought was really interesting. So it adds in a bit of shaping there, because I definitely find with jersey dresses, after they've been washed a few times, they kind of give a bit more. And then if you want something a bit more structured, you tend to lose that. So I feel like this would add that in. The sizes, I should say also, which I really like, the size is 18 to 30. They've actually added an extra bust start in as well to help with that. So I always like it when they've treated the 2 different size banding difference in terms of the pattern cutting. Then you can see it's got bell-shaped sleeves into a little cuff, and then you can cut it off and make it into a top. You can have it as a slightly cropped top, you can see as well. So there's quite a lot of cool things that you can do with it. So it feels like it could be a jumper. You can make it in a sweatshirting, or you can make it in a lighter weight jersey and as a top. So yeah, I feel like you could get quite a lot of use out of this if you like the jumper version and the dress version. I feel like that feels like a kind of good value for money dress. Dress pattern, haven't said anything important. PDF only for this. Sizing is a UK 6 to 30. There are two different size bandings, so there's a 6 to 20 and then there's an 18 to 30. So the 18 to 30 is the one with the extra bust dart. Right, next one from Sew Over It is the Adelle top. This is a PDF only and it comes in sizes UK 6 to 30. I'll get the actual important stuff done at the beginning this time. This is a really nice basic. It's very simple. It's got a lovely kind of deep curve on the front. The interesting thing is that it's also, that is mirrored on the back. So it's kind of got a low back. I will add, it's not low enough. It means you can basically still wear a bra with it, which, you know, for most of us is completely essential. You know, there aren't that many of us wandering around happily braless. So yeah, so it's not too low, which I really like. And yeah, it's very simple. You can, it's short, it's long sleeve, you can also make it short sleeve, but I really like it. It feels a bit like a body, but obviously without that kind of crotch bit. But yeah, I thought it was a nice detail. Again, for this, the sizes 18 to 30 have a bust dart as well for a bit of extra shaping. So yeah, it's a really nice, simple, basic. I just like the kind of low back. I think it adds a little something extra. It makes it feel a bit more special and a bit more dressy actually. So you could wear this as a kind of going out top. You can tell my age, can't you, by saying a going out top. Yeah, for the person who never goes out. So there we go. Anyway, moving on, we've got a men's pattern from I Am Patterns. They're called the Mowgli joggers. These are sized, so PDF only for this. Sizing is a UK extra small to extra large. Check the sizing chart so you can kind of actually see the proper measurements. But yeah, these are a pair of really kind of standard joggers. They're also, you can cut them off and make them into shorts. The bottoms of them are the thing that you can either pick between a straight cut where you just hem it, or you can add some cuffing on the bottom. Patch pockets on the back, and then they've got kind of slip pockets at the front, which I really like. Elasticated waist with the tie, so they're all your kind of I guess all the things that you would expect in a standard pair of men's joggers. But I actually really like the short version of these. I think they're really nice. If you're kind enough to sew for other people, that is there for you. I'm just assuming there are not that many men watching this video. I'm making an assumption. Right, then we've got a kids pattern, Waves and Wild Sunday pants. These are fantastic if you're looking for a kind of really good standard pair of trousers. As someone who has a little boy, there are a lot less boys patterns, but this is actually a unisex pattern. I feel like if you like making clothes for little people, you could just buy this one pattern and then you're nailed for life on trousers. So sizing on this, they go premature up to 12 years. So it's got a great size range. If I show you the line drawing, you can see what's going on. So there are different pocket styles. You can see that you can have the kind of big patch ones sewn on. Then you can have it where they're kind of inseam pockets. You can have them without. And then you can roll them up as well. So they can be turn-ups, which obviously means it's great because they last a bit longer. But yeah, the shape of them look really good. The thing I like about them is they're not too babyish for kind of little boys, and also the kind of 8 to 9 year olds. This photograph, I'm guessing age, maybe he's not, maybe 7. They basically don't look like babies' trousers. So if you do like to make clothes for little people, I thought these are really fantastic. Now we've got a big batch of patterns from So Different. Some of these are just new to us, some of these are new to the world, but there's some really interesting ones in here, so settle in. The first pair are called the Osborne Dungarees. All of So Different patterns are paper only, I will say, and sizing on them is a UK 8 to 28. Right, so the first pair of these Osborne Dungarees, I absolutely love these. I think they've got lots of interesting details. So I'll show you the line drawing. You can see that it's got a square cut neckline, quite big chunky straps, which I like. And then around the neckline, there's this really lovely band that goes all the way around at the back, which I think is a great detail. There are then seams running down the centre front of the leg, all the way from the kind of top, and you can see that then there are slits, kind of slits for pockets as well. I don't know why I need to do that with my hands. And then I'm assuming I think it zips up the back. And then they finish, I guess, mid-calf. They're cut so that they're not like super wide, they're kind of relaxed fit. I just thought they were really great actually. So if you are looking for some dungarees or a jumpsuit for spring, this would be a nice one to have a look at. Then we've got a really lovely jacket, which would be absolutely perfect for this time of year. It's called the Kusama jacket. If I show you the line drawing, you can see it's actually a really lovely, simple shape. So it's got raglan sleeves. The interesting detail, I guess, is that the sleeve is cut like a 3/4 length sleeve. So obviously we want to wait until it's a little bit warmer to be wearing this. A little kind of funnel neck and buttons down the front, big patch pockets. I just like the proportions of it. I always love it also when the patch pockets are oversized. It means that you can shove loads of stuff like your phone and keys, etc. But yeah, I thought this was a lovely little pattern for spring. It's fully lined as well, I'll say, this one. And yeah, it's a really great one. So if you haven't seen that yet, go and have a look if you're looking for a spring jacket. And then we've got 4 patterns from them that are really interesting kind of takes on overalls that you could wear either as a kind of dress in your own right, some of them, or like, you know, if you're painting, but you could also, some of them you could wear painting and, you know, let me get in and then I'll show you. So the first one is the cassock dress. Again, paper only, sizing on this is a UK 8 to 28. I'll show you the line drawing because it's quite interesting in terms of the cut lines on this. So it's got buttons all the way up the back. It's a kind of standard like shift shape. And then it's got this it's got bust darts as well, a little like funnel collar. So it's basically got these really interesting pocket details on the front. There are actually 3 different pockets at the front. And the idea is that you could use this if you wanted to paint in, so you can have your paintbrushes or whatever kind of craft that you are doing. I actually just really love it as a dress as well. So I think it works really well for both. But yeah, I thought it was just like interesting, and I love that kind of stitch detail on the front, which creates that middle third pocket, which is really interesting. And the cuffs on it are really nice and deep as well, which I think always makes it something feel really special. Then we have got the Hepworth pinafore, which is a really lovely shaped pinafore that crosses over at the back. I mean, we've seen these sort of styles before. I really like the pocket details on this. If I show you, it's got kind of 2 tiers of pockets. It's got that kind of slanted one at the top and one a bit further down. So if you are painting and stuff, there's lots of different pockets for you to kind of put things in. Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting pattern as well. Then we have got a really lovely classic smock. I actually wish this was in kids size because I would totally make this. Did anyone have these at school? Because we had these made in cotton and I just used to love them. So it's got this lovely big collar and then loads of gathering that goes all the way around the neckline, which makes it really nice and voluminous. So you can just pull it on over your clothes. Then there's also quite a lot of, you can see kind of volume in the sleeve as well. So it means it's really nice to wear, and it means if you have got like, you know, full clothes underneath, it's not going to make you feel restricted at all. I just love this. I think it's so great. So anyone who is looking for something like this, you could totally wear this as a dress in its own right as well. I think it would be really nice. Be a lovely like beach cover up as well if you for the summer. But yeah, I love the collar on it. Yeah, it's very nostalgic. I think it's great. And then last but not least is the Kalo tabard. Now this is such a lovely pattern. Also, you could totally, this doesn't at all feel like an apron style pattern to me at all. This feels like a really lovely dress. But again, you could wear it with clothes underneath if you wanted to paint. So you can see, if I show you the line drawing, it's got this lovely high square neckline, little straps. Interesting detail is that basically it folds and wraps at the front. So you can see these 2 kind of lines on the line drawing, but those are actually folds, and then it ties at the front. There are big patch pockets which you can have and obviously to store things in, and you could leave those off if you didn't want them, if you're making them into a dress, but I think they're really cute. And then you can see at the front, because you've kind of folded it over, you end up with quite a lot of excess at the front. You kind of makes this kind of lovely kind of inverted pleat. It's a really clever pattern. I've seen like vintage dress versions of these, and I just think it's really great. So if you are looking for something to paint in, or I think you could totally wear this for a wedding. It's really lovely with the big patch pockets, and you can store lots of stuff in it. Anything with a giant patch pocket, I'm basically sold. Yes. So that is it from me. I will be back next week with even more patterns. There are more coming. I basically can't keep up with them, which is really nice because spring feels great when you've got loads of stuff to kind of inspire you. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.